So I watched Megan Thee Stallion's In Her Words documentary on Amazon last night, and this is what I got from the actual documentary because I seen a lot of the clips going around where she was saying that she lied to Gayle King about her situation or her relationship with Tory Lanez. So I'm like, let me go watch the full documentary just to see what's going on. Because, a lot of times they'll show like that one moment, but you don't really get context or you don't really get like where the conversation came from, how she got to that point. But these were my takeaways from what I saw. My number one thing is that I don't think Megan wants to be famous anymore. I think once she got out there and things really took off, I think it's too much for her. Now, I don't know if that would have been the case had she not lost all her people during the course of her career taking off. I don't know, but she cannot handle the pressures of being famous. She's young, and when you're young, you just naturally consume the things that people say about you, and it makes you second guess yourself. It makes you think about yourself in different ways until you reach that point where you realize that other people's opinion of you doesn't really matter, and she's not at that point in her life yet. So she's going to struggle with people talking about her online for quite a bit if she doesn't get that under control. All the experiences that she's having are the experiences of adults' everyday lives. It's just that it's magnified because she is known by way more people. So she hears way more opinions than she probably would like because of where she's at in the rap industry. And when you think about what people say on social media, then you have the people that are running the companies that she worked for. So that's another set of opinions that you have to comb through. And then her own personal opinions of herself. And then you have the people that actually really know her. So when you combine all of those opinions together, what do you do? And which one comes out the strongest? A lot of times when you're younger, you end up doing a lot of things that you wouldn't have done had you really thoroughly thought it through or did what you really wanted to do in the first place, instead of doing the thing that you think the people around you are going to be pleased with. It was clear that she was going through depression because when I listened to her album and I reviewed her album, I was like, this is depression music. This is not my cup of tea. Like, I don't really listen to stuff like this because it'll take you to a place that you really just don't want to be. So she's going to stay on the depression loop because she now has this music that she has to keep reciting over and over again. So, of course, you're going to relive those experiences over and over again because you keep repeating the same words over and over again. So, with that being stated, I think she should have took a break before she actually recorded her music because I think her music is having an effect on her mental health. This documentary, for some reason, just reminded me of Kanye West's documentary, not with the way that it was made, but with the subject matter. This girl has achieved her goal of becoming a rap star, and now she's extremely unhappy. Like, she cried the entire time. Like, this whole entire documentary was nothing but scenes of her crying every single time. Like, I didn't see her really enjoy anything that she did throughout the documentary, and that was strange. It appears as though she's still trying to convince the public that Tory Lanez hit her up. And in that situations like that, I really don't get into because it's like, that's one of those things where nobody knows what happened. So I wasn't there, but I will say she took a part in ruining her own credibility because she lied too many times about too many things. So when people catch you in a lie, it's kind of like, I don't really know. But for me, Like, had I already lied and said, oh, it's glass or I stepped on glass, whatever, I'm from the block. So that's what we going to take it to. I would have never went to the police on this man at all because I would have just got my street folks and we would have handled it accordingly. Leave them cops alone if you in a situation that you can handle yourself, because sometimes the police will make the situation even worse than the situation that you already went through. But nobody ever really talks about that. Megan made mentions of therapy, but I don't know. This might sound bad, but therapy doesn't help everybody. Sometimes the only way you're going to get through a situation is living through it. And one day you're going to have that light bulb moment where it's going to click in your brain for you when you're ready for it. And then you'll be ready to take the next step. But all the time talking to people about stuff, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to heal from it or that you're going to be a better person after you tell people what you've been through or what you're going through. I think the doc would have buzzed a little bit more had she mentioned the beef with Nicki Minaj, but she didn't. She brought up when Drake said something about her in one of his songs, but you know how Nicki get when somebody bring her name up. I just feel like that would have sent the documentary over the edge because Nicki would have went live, she would have been talking crazy, and that would have promoted Megan's documentary even more. Like, y'all dropped the ball on that. But that's just the messy side of me, the side that watch baddies. Now, I started dozing off a little bit towards the end because y'all know how I get when stuff be longer than an hour and 15 minutes. I just be like, now, wait a minute, y'all. Let's wrap this thing up. But did y'all watch the documentary? What did y'all think about it? Because all I really got from this was a cry for help. Between the depression, the alcoholism, and the sadness, I just didn't see what I usually see in documentaries, which is a story from trial to triumph. And it seems as though she's still in her trial era. So all we could do is hope for the best because the people around her, it appears as though they're only concerned with the money that stands to be generated, and they're not really paying attention to the fact that she's human, because all of the people that were in the documentary, they kind of just gave off the energy like, look, I'm just here to get my check. I'm just here to do my job and leave.